A very warm welcome to all. Today, I, Ria Khanna, a legal intern under Lexis and Company, am here to give a case analysis on the topic Indira Sahni versus Union of India and Others 1992, All India Record 1993. This particular video is part 2 of this topic. Let us revise what we understood in the previous video, that is the part 1 of this topic. In the part 1 video, we understood brief facts about this case that uh, that a commission was headed by Shri B.P. Mandal, known as B.P. Mandal Commission, known as the Mandal Commission, to talk about the socially and educationally backward classes, which was accepted by the Janata Dal Party under the Prime Ministership of V.P. Singh. Further, we understood that the case was decided by a 5-judge bench, which was later on recommended to a 9-judge bench due to the Congress government Office of Memorandum, which rolled out 2 improvements. So later, we understood the 9 important and main issues that were highlighted in this particular case. Let us understand the petitioners and respondents' arguments and then understand the judgment of this case. Petitioner's argument. It was argued by the petitioner that the recommendations made by Mandal Commission are indirectly provoking the evil idea of the caste system, which is nothing but considered as against the idea of secularism. Hence, the OMS provided on the strength of report, which is completely based on the caste criteria and infringement of Article 16 Clause 2. It was also argued that the present report is based on 1931 census and can never serve as a correct basis for identifying the backward class. They insisted on the formation of a fresh commission under Article 340 Clause 1 of the Constitution to make a fresh wide survey throughout the country. They also said that if the recommendation of commission are implemented, it would result in the substandard replacing the standard and reins of power passing from meritocracy to mediocrity. The petitioners emphasized the Equal Protection Clause, which prohibits the state from making unreasonable discrimination in providing references and facilities for any section of its people. They also emphasized the effect of such recommendation on the meritorious candidates appearing for public employment, and they said it would demoralize those candidates. Let us understand the respondents' argument in this particular issue. The respondents argued that if the above argument is accepted, then it will negate the just claim of SEBCs to avail the benefit of Article 16 Clause 4, which is a fundamental right. They also argued that the petitioner's argument regarding this report is based on 1931 census is totally false and baseless, because a thorough study of reports suggests that 1931 census does not have any connection with the identification of the OBCs. They further said that the classes have been identified on the basis of countrywide socio-educational field survey and census report of 1961, particularly for identification of Aboriginal, Hill, Indigenous, Primitive, and Forest tribe. It was also argued about the reference of 1931 census. They said that this position is made clear by the Commission itself in Chapter 12 of its report. However, systematic caste-wise bifurcation of population was introduced by the Registrar General of India in 1881 and discontinued in 1931. The respondent emphasized that the report wanted to reserve 52% of all posts in central government for OBC as per their ratio in population. However, it is recommended reservation of 27% in deference to legal limitations. Still, the population of OBCs is near twice the figure. The respondent also pointed out the petitioner's argument regarding substandards replacing standards. They turned this argument baseless and based upon false assumption, because the very object of Article 16 Clause 4 is to ensure equality of opportunity in the matters of public employment and give adequate representation to the left out class of the society. Now let us talk about the judgment of this case. The 9-judge bench of Supreme Court of India conveyed the landmark judgment on the issue of reservation to the OBCs. The Honorable Supreme Court of India had altogether inspected each conceivable inquiry. The 6:3 ratio decided the following. Number one, backward class civilians, as referenced in Article 16, Clause 4, can be recognized based on the caste system and not just on economical basis. Number two, Article 16, Clause 4 is not exemption of Article 16, Clause 1 of the Indian Constitution. It just cuts out the classification of society. Reservation can be made under Article 16, Clause 1 for any part other than those referenced in Article 16, Clause 4. Backward classes referenced in Article 16, Clause 4 were not as socially and educationally deprived as referenced in Article 15, Clause 4. Those who have a place in the creamy layer should not be included in the deprived classes and are not qualified for benefits provided for the deprived classes. The reservation of classes of society will not surpass it half. Moreover, there will be no reservation for promotions. The process for reservation can be made by executive order only. There will be a legal body to take care of complaints and concerns, and a majority held that there is no compelling reason to state any opinion on the accuracy or adequacy of the activity done by the Mandal Commission. Thank you so much. That is all for today's video.